Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. My name is Sahil, I'm a death metal musician. I play in a band called Demonic Resurrection. No, we are not satanic, and you can click here on the I button and listen to one of my songs. But back to food. Töltött Káposzta. That's not just a fun word to say, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are cooking today. That is Hungarian cabbage rolls. It's delicious cabbage stuffed with pork meat and cooked in a delicious, rich, flavorful broth and served with some sour cream. It sounds so good, I just had to make it. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is get a pot of water on the stove, and we're going to season that water with salt, and we're going to bring it up to a boil. While we're doing that, we're going to prepare our cabbage, and to prep the cabbage, all we're really going to do is just take out part of the core of the cabbage. This will make it easier to remove the leaves. Once the water is boiling, we're going to put our cabbage into the water. And I had a lot of water in the pot, so I was fiddling around with the cabbage for a little bit. But anyway, what you want to do is you just want to cover it with the lid and cook it for about 5 minutes. Anyway, I did that once I stopped fiddling with the cabbage. After about 5 minutes, the leaves will start to peel off, the outer leaves, and they will come out quite easily. And this is a bit of process. As the leaves cook and soften, they will be easy to remove. So one by one you will start to remove the outer leaves. After you've got a couple of the leaves out, you'll probably want to cover it again and let it continue cooking. Once the leaves soften, remove the outer ones, and you will basically keep repeating this process. And you will do it till you get as many leaves as you need. And I did this a couple of times. I'd cook it till the outer leaves would soften, remove them, let it cook some more. And a couple of times I even had to use the knife to help me because I didn't take out enough of the core. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So keep doing this, and then once you've got most of your cabbage left, you can just cover it and let it cook. Now while that cabbage is cooking, I'm going to prep the leaves. And for the bigger leaves, what you can do is you can take out the white part of it in the middle and make smaller leaves, because otherwise you'll just get a giant leaf of cabbage. And make sure you don't waste the white stem of the leaves. We're going to chop those up and use them later. Don't throw any of this away. So yeah, just prep your leaves as you're preparing the cabbage at the same time, once they've cooled down enough to handle. Anyway, once your cabbage is boiled completely, remove it from the pot and set it aside to cool. And also strain out that liquid and don't waste any of it, because that is like a cabbage stock. We're going to use it later. And once your cabbage has cooled down, just chop it all up nice and finely. Of course, do this only after you've gotten out as many leaves as you need for the cabbage rolls. Then whatever's left you can chop up like this. The next thing I'm going to be doing is making the stuffing for the cabbage rolls, and I'm going to be using a kilo of ground pork meat. I'm going to season the pork generously with some salt, some black pepper powder, and be generous, some Hungarian paprika, or if you don't have access to that, you can use any paprika that's available to you. Then I'm going to take a mortar and pestle, and I'm just going to crush up some caraway seeds. Now this is not normally used, but I'm just doing it to add another layer of flavor to the pork mince. Anyway, add those crushed caraway seeds to the ground pork meat as well. So normally the Hungarians add white rice to the mixture, but since we're on keto, I'm just using some cooked cauliflower rice. And if you don't know how to make cauliflower rice, click on the I button on the screen and watch my recipe video on how to do that. So add the cooked cauliflower rice to the mixture as well. And then we're going to crack 1 egg into that. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we give it all a good mix. Now you can completely skip that cauliflower rice if you don't want to add that. You can also add 2 eggs instead of 1 egg. It's completely up to you. Anyway, after trying to mix this with a fork and realizing it's not going as well as I would like, I shifted over to my hands and I gave it all a good mix with my hands, just like the Hungarians do. I've never seen a Hungarian mix this with a fork, so well, I guess it was just destiny that I had to mix this with my hands. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Once it's mixed, on to the next step. So now it's time to make the cabbage rolls, and we're going to take our prepped cabbage leaves and we're going to take our ground pork mixture and we're going to basically wrap the pork mixture in the cabbage leaves. I'm going to show you how to do them and then you can make as many as you require. So that's how it's done, and let me show you another set of them. Nothing fancy. You can also use a toothpick to hold them together if you want, but I feel you can just wrap them and they'll be secure. So anyway, I'm done making a whole bunch of cabbage rolls and they look amazing and I can't wait to cook them. So now I'm going to get the same pan back on the stove and I'm going to add in some smoked bacon cubes. You can also use regular bacon, or if you don't want to use bacon at all, you can use some lard and cooking fat and then go straight to the next step. But first I've got to basically cook the bacon, render out as much of that bacon fat as I can and get that bacon crispy, or as crispy as it can get. And this takes a bit of time, a little bit of love and care. So cook that bacon on a lowish heat, let that fat render out, let it start to get brown and crispy, and keep moving it around and cooking it. Now of course in Hungary they don't do this, but this is an extra step I have added to build some layers of flavor. Also they might use Hungarian sausage in this dish, and they may also use other pork things that we don't get here in India. So I'm doing the best I can with what I have. So anyway, once that bacon is done, I'm going to remove half of it with a slotted spoon and set it aside. And then I'm going to throw in some onion into that. I'm also going to add in a knob of butter at this point because, well, butter makes everything taste a little bit better. And I just want to add some extra fat to this dish as well. And give it all a good mix. And what I'm doing now is I'm softening the onions and I'm cooking it in that bacon fat, and I want to get some color in it, and this is going to help build a lot of flavor. I'm also going to take the white part of the cabbage that I saved and I'm going to throw that into this as well. And I'm just going to cook it all down. The cabbage will start to caramelize and get delicious. The onions will soften and start to brown, and we build lots and lots of flavor. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is throw in a couple of cloves of garlic because, well, garlic is good and it tastes delicious and it adds so much flavor to these dishes. So anyway, give that all a good mix and cook that till the garlic starts to get a little bit of color. The next thing I'm going to do is add a teaspoon of paprika and give it all a good mix. Paprika is one of the main flavors in this dish and the Hungarians do love their paprika. So give it all a good mix, cook it for about maybe 30 seconds to a minute, not too long and on not too high a heat. Then I'm going to throw in some of that chopped up cabbage and I'm just going to press it down, and I'm also going to add some of that cabbage stock, about a spoon or two. This is to stop the sort of paprika from burning and overcooking. And then I'm just going to press everything down, and now we're going to create layers in this dish. So I've managed to get some sauerkraut here in Mumbai, thankfully, and I'm going to create a layer of that sauerkraut. And then on go my cabbage rolls, and I'm going to fill it up with a layer of cabbage rolls. Then on go some more of that chopped cabbage, and then some of that bacon, another layer of sauerkraut, and then some more cabbage rolls, just pile them on there. A little more of that leftover bacon, some more sauerkraut, and just for a little burst of flavor, one green chili pepper. And then I'm going to pour in some of that cabbage stock that we had, and I'm going to fill it up about 3/4 of the way. I'm going to layer the top with some of the leftover cabbage leaves, and then I'm going to cover it with a lid and let it cook on a low heat for about 60 minutes. And of course, halfway through, I'm just going to check and make sure everything is cooking well. Play around with it a little bit, cover it and let it continue cooking. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got some of that fresh cabbage left. I've got some cabbage rolls left, and I've got even some of that cabbage stock left. Don't throw any of this away. Click on the I button and see some of my recipes where you can use these and make some delicious dishes. Anyway, after about 60 minutes, it's ready, and oh yeah, you can't really see anything because there's cabbage on the top. So I'm going to move aside those cabbage leaves on the top, but you can eat them of course, and you should eat them. Anyway, I'm going to put the cabbage rolls onto the plate. Make sure you get some of that sauerkraut and some of that bacon. You want to get all of it in. And then of course we're going to top it with some sour cream. Oh yeah. And of course finish it with some fresh parsley. And there you have it, folks. Our Hungarian stuffed cabbage rolls are ready, and it looks delicious. But before I taste it, I'm going to cut into those rolls and show you food porn. Yes, food porn, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, enough jibber jabber, time to taste now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to taste the Töltött Káposzta. And it looks so delicious and it smells so good. And I'm just gonna dig in, get some of that sour cream. The Hungarians really do love their sour cream. Oh my god. Oh. Okay guys, this is officially the best Hungarian dish I've had. Oh man, this is a flavor bomb. I mean, pork meat is flavorful to begin with, and the paprika and the caraway seeds, oh my god, I'm so glad that I put those caraway seeds in there. It is an explosion of flavor, and the sauerkraut and the creaminess of the sour cream and the little bacon bits. And I'm going to be disgusting and taste a bit of the liquid, like the what is almost like a soup in the pot. Oh guys, that is incredible. So there is a lot of liquid left over after cooking, and that is like the most delicious soupy brothy kind of thing ever. Guys, you just have to make this dish. Trust me, it may seem like a lot of work, but it's totally worth it. I'm gonna go now because I want to eat the rest of this, and I will see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Cheers and keep cooking. Hey folks, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to Headbanger's Kitchen for more awesome keto recipes. If you want some more Hungarian recipes, click here. Maybe you want some breakfast dishes, click here. Or if you want to listen to a song of my band, just click here. Cheers.